So today's This or That segment has been brought to you by throwbackbuys.com, your one-stop shop for all things nostalgic. Whether you're looking for Game Boys, Kooky sweaters, or even spirographs, Throwback Buys is the site for you. Use our code NJPOD for 15% off your order. Details will be linked in the description below. Let's get into This or That.
Let's do it.
Our first This or That, Pac-Man Arcade or Donkey Kong Arcade. You got 1/4. What are you playing?
Pac-Man.
Really?
Yeah,
I say really, but I'm also playing Pac-Man.
it's a funner game. Donkey Kong is cool, but it Pac-Man, man, more exciting.
Agreed. I feel we've talked about Pac-Man before. Like
Yeah,
I love it. I can hear the little theme
yeah,
song going off in my head. Pac-Man, I think, also had more return on investment.
correct.
It was easier to get farther in Pac-Man off of 1/4, off for a couple quarters,
Hmm.
than it was Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
Donkey Kong, sometimes the jump
it was
just wasn't right.
impossible. Yeah, and again, Donkey Kong, even though they're not relatable, Donkey Kong didn't become cool until
Donkey Kong Country.
yes,
Hmm.
because you weren't able to play. It's a Donkey Kong cab, but you're not able to play Donkey Kong.
You weren't
You're
even
Mario.
Mario. You weren't even Mario. You were Jumpman.
Jumpman, which
It was
technically
Mario,
Mario,
but at the
but
time.
he was Jumpman.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So Instagram agreed. 68% said Pac-Man.
yeah.
So
That's easy. That was an easy one.
it's going to be a long line at the Pac-Man cab.
Yep. Put your quarters up.
That's a memory in itself. Lining the quarters along the side.
Yep. You knew where you were next.
Exactly. So next up, Walkman or Discman.
Obviously, for me, Walkman, man. Tapes. For me, so yes, Walkman. I just growing up, I remember using a Walkman. Um, this man was expensive when it first came out, man.
So by the time I was old enough to get a Discman, they were relatively cheap,
Yeah,
or our parents had already had one and it was a hand-me-down.
yeah,
For me, solely for nostalgia's sake, because I remember my mom got a Discman, and when she got a Discman, I got her Walkman. And the Walkman had an AM FM radio on it.
yeah.
So I would listen to that thing nonstop. Actually, the Walkman that's right up there, that is my childhood Walkman.
Yeah.
And the tape deck doesn't work anymore, but the radio does. And every now and then I plug in a little pair of headphones and listen to shh,
Yeah.
shh, and it's just
Yeah.
nostalgic.
Walkman for me.
I'm with you on the Walkman. However, Instagram, 62% said Discman.
It's the age group.
It's I think it's also the anti-skip technology. Everybody was ready
But
for it.
again, it was later. I,
I
I
also think the ability to skip songs in a CD,
yeah, I
that
could
was a
see that.
great innovation.
But at that point in time too, like there was like Sony started the Walkman. By the time Discman came out, everyone had a CD, portable CD player
Mhm.
out. Philips, everyone. So I mean, the divide and conquer, I guess, with the branding. But I don't remember having a Discman just because I might have had another brand. But yeah,
Also, I mean, maybe it's just because I like the displayability and the storability of cassettes.
hmm,
The Walkman to me is just so much nicer.
me too.
Like
Me too.
cassettes take up much less space than a CDs do.
Yeah,
They just stack better, in my opinion.
yeah.
Our last one, it's more like a who would win in a fight,
Hmm.
Terminator or Robocop.
I mean, this is pretty easy. Pretty easy.
Terminator.
There's not even a fight.
Mm.
I'm sorry, RoboCop.
So what's funny is there was somebody on Threads who was saying that RoboCop would be able to put up a pretty good fight, and I can see RoboCop putting up a fight, but I can see Terminator. Like we're talking Arnold Terminator, not Terminator from T2. We're talking about the original Terminator. I could see him being like, "Oh, I'm not gonna use the full power and just fight." and then all of a sudden just kind of get fed up with it
Dude,
and just
you know
obliterate.
why the fight would be it's always gonna be Terminator, it's not even close. Because at any given point, if Terminator is losing to RoboCop, they can always pull him and send him back to the past to kill RoboCop before he becomes
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
You know what?
Come on, Skynet. Come on, guys.
That is a good argument. That is a good argument.
Yeah, I
Although
mean,
I got a kick out of the person on Threads
mhm.
made the argument about how RoboCop fought what's the giant Robo Walker
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
was in RoboCop,
yeah,
but how it fought it and that was a difficult fight. My rebuttal, the stair scene.
yeah,
Do not tell me that was a rough fight. When the Robo Walker looked at the stairs, thought about going down the stairs, hesitated, and then proceeded to fall down a flight of stairs in the goofiest animation
yeah.
possible. That to me is why Terminator will win.
Yeah.
The Terminator fight scenes are actually well choreographed. That Robocop fight scene is like they wanted to stick a comedic bit in there.
Yeah, and here the thing with RoboCop, he is a very stiff character, whereas in Terminator, man, his agility defeats. They're both robots technically,
Mhm.
but one is from the future and one is from I
Modern 80s.
yeah, because it would I don't know, time frame was uh in the 90s, I think they put RoboCop. What was the year in the movie?
So Robocop takes place.
Mhm.
Wait up, this is the 2014 film. I want the original. So the 2014 film takes place in the year 2028. But the 1987 film, what year did that take? It doesn't tell me what year this takes place in.
I think it's around the same time, like it's in the mid 2000s if I'm not mistaken. Cuz remember the future in the 80s, like they thought we were going to have flying cars already.
That is true. So right here, we have it from Google. In 1987, the film Robocop doesn't explicitly state a specific year, but the story does take place in the not so distant future.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the not so distant future. I'd say it's like what, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
So
So mid 2000s.
mid 2000s, and they thought we were going to have Robocop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't.
And the world was going to be gang riddled wasteland kind of.
Why is it every movie that's like not even post apocalyptic, but like takes place in the not so distant future? It's either bright and shiny with flying cars or
Or
smog city.
yeah,
Like it's never in between.
cuz
It's just
that's
that.
technically where the world is headed anyways.
But could you imagine? Like imagine if like Back to the Future when it
Mhm.
came out and RoboCop, if they just depicted the future like 2025
Yeah.
as how 2025 looks, like normal world.
Yeah.
I feel like it honestly make for a boring movie.
I think I think Back to the Future did a pretty good job except for the flying card part.
And the self-tying shoes.
Well, they're out there. Nike
N-
did them.
Well, they did them because they realized that
No,
if
no,
they
Nike had two separate lines of self-tying shoes, basketball sneakers. The Air Max somethings. They did self-tie.
they made them for the movie
No, no, no.
in 20 so Nike released those sneakers in 2016.
The Air I'm not talking about the Air Mags.
Not the Air Mags?
No, there are true basketball sneakers that Nike made
Really?
that were released maybe 5, 6 years ago. That's self-laced. Yes. They're Nike Max something.
So they started that technology. So if they released 5 years ago, that would be what, 2020, 2019. They started making that technology because they had made that technology for the Air Mags
Yeah, yeah.
in the 2016 when they released the charity shoe.
Yeah, yeah.
So they released that technology or made that
Correct.
technology because they realized that, oh, we're going to make this
But in their
anniversary shoe.
time frame, of when they released it in the time frame of Back to the
Mhm.
Future is actually accurate to
So now,
to
but
now.
it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's like
They
it's
thought
like
of it in the 80s for now,
for
and
now.
then they actually
Well, they made
decided
it
to go do it.
because of that movie,
Yeah.
which I think is like
But
really
it
cool. It's
it
like a
lined
self-fulfilling
up. It
prophecy.
lined up with the movie though when they went into the future. I think Back to the Future when they go into the future is like 20.
15, 2016.
Yeah, and it's stupid, but it's great.
So yeah, because they it was October 2015, I think, is when they go to the future.
Yep.
And so that October 2015,
Yeah.
Nike created the
Yeah.
Air Mags, and it was for the Michael J. Fox Foundation,
Yeah.
where all the proceeds would go to that charity.
Those
I
sneakers are
think the
going
sneakers
for
like
like 20,000.
$15,000 at release, and
Yeah.
they're now a lot
20,
more.
20, 25,000.
But
But there's they've done it 3 times now.
yep,
Michael J has done it 3 times for his charity, and I mean they've gotten better
yeah,
every single time. But they're like in the I think some of the pairs have gone for like 30, $40,000 now.
yeah. Listen, I want a pair of Nike Air Mags, not that
I'll
much.
I'll even buy the bootlegs to be honest with you. I just want a display piece.
Hmm.
I just like the movie. They'd be cool display piece.
So where's our hoverboard then?
Mm,
I want the hoverboard.
Overboard would be tough.
That, and I want a car that runs on trash. But let's get into our meat and potatoes.
Yeah, let's do it.